This video is important. This video is so important, I even combed my beard. Not that you can tell. I made a discovery. Perhaps if you follow my channel, you've seen my crazy videos about Alex Jones where I'm contending he's actually Bill Hicks. The truth is, I really don't care if he's Bill Hicks or not. I realize that's a real stretch. I'll confess to knowing someone who says they know someone that went to high school with him. But you contact his high school, they don't confirm that he went there, and there's no way to get a hold of anything. That aside, this is directed to Alex Jones fans. Now, I'm sure you're aware of his 90-minute interview with Aaron Russo 5 years ago. The entire interview is based on a conversation Aaron Russo said he had with a member of the famous Rockefeller family. All of the conspiracy topics about 9/11 and the banking industry and how the banking industry corrupts the government. This member of the Rockefeller family, he said, was Nick Rockefeller. This is the basis of everything. You go online, all these links to this interview all over the web, justifying everything Alex Jones says about 9/11. Guess what? There is no such person as Nick Rockefeller in the famous Rockefeller family. There's just no doubting it. There's no mistake. I've looked into it. You can find out in mere moments. Just Google Rockefeller family tree, and it'll go from the magnates of 150 years ago and all their children and the children their children had. You will not find a Nicholas Rockefeller. Now this is significant. All right, this is the basis of everything Alex Jones says on the subject, where this private friendship that he had with Aaron Russo, he gave him inside information about how it all works behind the scenes. All the feminism websites that are up in arms about this glaring moment of being informed via Aaron Russo, that the Rockefeller family initiated women's lib just as a trick to tax half the population that wasn't being taxed because they weren't working. The concept of getting both parents of a household in the workforce so that they could be taxed. Ha ha ha. To empower women to seek liberation for that reason alone. This Nick Rockefeller supposedly said this to Aaron Russo, who was a famous film producer from Hollywood. He was the representative of Bette Midler. He made Trading Places. He's the real thing, you know. He's the real thing. There's no fringe misunderstanding about that. But this is significant. There's no Nick Rockefeller. Now the photo that they give in the video, where Aaron Russo's, chummy with this Nick Rockefeller, the man looks like David Rockefeller, the patriarch of the Rockefeller family, the man who built the World Trade Center, the man who built Rockefeller Center. Arguably one of the most wealthy people in the country, if not the entire planet, if not in the top 5. They're so wealthy you can't calculate it. You never see a David Rockefeller in the list with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. That list is a joke. People like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds are the most wealthy people in the world. So this is a big bomb that's going off, right? Supposedly in this interview where, Aaron Russo is betraying the confidence of Nick Rockefeller, who's telling him the secrets of the world and the secrets of the United States government. That's the auspice. And, Alex Jones puts out his DVD about it. Aaron Russo puts out his documentary called America, Freedom to Fascism, all rooted on this moment of getting an inside look of the insider's world through Nick Rockefeller. There is no Nick Rockefeller. Definitely none of the publicly acknowledged Rockefellers of that magnanimous family had a child named Nicholas, who is of any prominence. This man would be 60 years old. They never say in the interview who his father was. That was suspicious right there. I thought, well, wait a minute. He just said, oh, well, Nick Rockefeller. He didn't say, oh, well, what does Nick Rockefeller run? They said he was part of the CFR. You can find a Nick Rockefeller in the ledger of members of the CFR. You can't find anything about his life. There are other people named Rockefeller in the country who aren't. They're probably somewhere way back hundreds of years ago related to the initial immigrants from Europe who were initially called Rockefeller. But really, if someone in that position would be very well documented, if they had the power and the persuasion to be the person that Aaron is talking about. The man's eyes and his smile, very similar to David Rockefeller when he smiles. So, if it's not a publicly acknowledged person, who is it? You would think that, okay, that there's the real breach of the secret world, because the people that actually do the moving wouldn't be named. Let's say David Rockefeller has 6 acknowledged children. He actually has 16. And the 6 that are acknowledged are public officials that just kind of do the lip service for these charities and these organizations, while people doing the devious business are just kept secret. Which is still ridiculous, because no matter what they do, it would be interacting with all kinds of official legalities, where the David Rockefeller's son, Nick, or his nephew, there would be no way to hide that. I could go on and on, but look for it. All of you go on and on about Alex Jones and this and that, about conspiracies about 9/11 and being microchipped, and you don't have the wherewithal to just recognize, just to look up, well, all right, who's Nick Rockefeller? I went all over the net. There's a few people that question it, and it's suspicious how Wikipedia did delete a page about a Nicholas Rockefeller, but they probably did it because it was verified that there's no such person. The only other thing is this is a Nick Rockefeller that's heading a liaison, who knows what committee with China. It's the most foggy thing you could read about. It's just, well, what does it mean? Just an attorney named Nick Rockefeller. Well, that could be anybody. Doesn't mean he's definitely not connected to the famous Rockefeller family. The only other option is that some of their children were kept hidden. And Aaron Russo blew that wide open just before he died. But the fact that that part of it is never addressed in any of these videos, you would think Alex Jones, in the process of putting his DVD together and commenting on Aaron Russo's comments, would look into that. Okay, well, I'm doing a lot of talking about Nick Rockefeller. Let's find out a little bit about Nick Rockefeller. He would have done that. He did do that. He knows. Which is my whole contention about Alex Jones anyway. He's just an actor, like Julian Assange. He just does this, and he's funded by powers that be, and he's protected, and everything he puts out there is just a scare tactic to lead the sheeple, who would not look up this basic tenet of what they're looking at. You look up Aaron Russo, you look up Nick Rockefeller. Well, there's Aaron Russo, there's no Nick Rockefeller. No such person. Would you please do something about it? If you're really a crazy Alex Jones fan, would you call into his show and ask him, all right, what's up with this? Would you do something about this when you got something substantial to work with? Go find out for yourself who Aaron Russo was talking about. Please.